Welcome to Success Mashup Radio. This is Keith, and I'm excited for today's show. We've got a couple great guests on board, and before we get into the great guests, we're going to be talking about some pretty cool strategies that are working today with businesses and entrepreneurs. If you have a business and you kind of want to survive in today's environment, this is something that you're going to really want to pay attention to, because what I do in my core business with Dominate Web Media, with the digital marketing, and with some of my clients, I work with some clients that, you know this if you're listening to this show, the biggest thing that we focus on these days is Facebook advertising and using the platform with Facebook and getting your message out in front of your targeted users. And, we have clients, I've got clients that literally where some people are getting, 100% ROI, 200%, 1,000%. Literally, I have clients getting the 7,000% ROI on their Facebook ads, and the reason is because they're doing things right. They have things set up the right way. But what I'm going to talk about today is to really how to get a better ROI on everything you're doing, and how to really just kind of grow your brand. And this stuff works whether you're a small business, whether you're an entrepreneur, or whether you're a large business. And actually, I was kind of inspired by a book called Youtility. Okay, it's called Youtility, spelled Y-O-U. So it's Y-O Utility, and it's written by Jay Baer, who is he's a consultant to some of the biggest brands in the world. And I love it because what it talks about is it talks about really the world that we're in right now. And check this out. First of all, everybody knows that it takes about like 6, 7, or 8 touches for somebody to actually make a transaction, to make a sale. You've heard that lots of different times. So if you're trying to grow your business online, you've got to have the system set up in place where people can actually, see your stuff more than once, right? But the problem is things are changed. Google's not the way it used to be. When Google came out 10, 12 years ago, people could just basically figure out how to game the system and get their website to rank, getting backlinks and stuff like that. Well, the problem is recently Google's made some massive updates called the Panda and the Penguin update. And it's been a big deal. And basically the whole search engine optimization game, if you're listening, I'm doing air quotes, search engine optimization SEO game is kind of out the window now, and basically it all comes down to content. But this matters whether you're a business trying to get traffic online or whether you're some local mom and pop business. It's all about content. I'm going to show you some great examples here of how to do that. And I'm going to take some examples out of the book. So if you want to access this book and you want to watch this, I'm actually going to have this video and audio recorded, and you're going to be able to access it through my site, dominatewebmedia.com. So don't worry, I'm going to have all the links and resources at the bottom of this video here up in about a week or so. So check this out. In 2008, 2009, the average consumer, basically, before they bought something, they consumed 2 to 3 pieces of content before they made a purchase. In 2010, consumers consumed 5.3 pieces of content before making a purchasing decision. In 2011, that number jumped to 10.4, okay, and is still growing. Okay, now it doubled from 2010 to 2011 to 10.4. Don't have the stats for 2012 yet, but that's unbelievable. Okay, that's the average. So some people, if they're buying something small, maybe a T-shirt or something, they might be, consuming 2 or 3 pieces of content. If they're buying a motorcycle or a car or putting in a pool or buying a house, they might consume 30 or 40 pieces of content. And the reason why this is only one reason. There's one reason why this is, and it's one word. It's called mobile, okay? See, everybody has the internet at their fingertips. So everybody has their iPhone or their iPad or their tablet or whatever it is, and people can just access the information. So because it's so easy to get this information now, people are doing it. That's basically the reason why. And so you have a lot of businesses that are actually jumping on the bandwagon and figuring this stuff out. And so if you want to really compete or separate yourself from your competition, you need to get on board this game. And so basically the thing is we know that people are on social. Okay, they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on Instagram, they're on Pinterest and all these places, right? And you know that you can target people on these platforms. I've talked about Facebook advertising tons and tons of times. We can get it in, for example, like a company like Eagle Leather. They can target people that, own Harley Davidsons or own some type of cruiser motorcycle, and they can put their message out in front of them. The only problem is these days, though, too, is that you're not only competing against your competition, but you're competing against the end consumer. So if you're trying to get on, on Facebook or Twitter, your actual competition is the consumers out there, the people that are just on there every single day. So it's as much as it's never been easier in some ways to get in front of your end consumer because of this whole like Facebook advertising game, but at the same time you have a lot bigger a lot more noise out there too, so you have to separate yourself. So it's kind of crazy. So, to generate leads and sales online and with social, you need to be able to cultivate the relationship and nurture it along, okay? Here's the deal. Everybody wants to be a hunter and nobody wants to be a farmer. That's a quote that I took from, what's his name? My mind's going blank right now, but it's the Wine Library. Somebody help me out here. What's his name? That's okay. I'll get back to that in a second. But the Wine Library, okay, so he talks about this all the time. Everybody wants to be a hunter and nobody wants to be Gary Vaynerchuk. Sorry, Gary V. My mind just went blank for a second. So Gary Vaynerchuk talks about that a lot. So it's, here's the deal is people want to buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? And so you can sell to a customer today. Okay, so if you sell somebody, you can create a customer today. But if you help somebody, you can create a customer for life. And so the difference between helping and selling is just two letters, but those two letters make all the difference. And Jay Baer talks about this in his book. I'm quoting some of this stuff from his book. Remember that. If you want to check out his book, you can get it on Amazon, of course. You can also get it on audible.com. I listen to a lot of books. I'm actually listening to this book. I'm not reading it, so I love it. But so here's an example. Columbia Sportswear, perfect example because they're from out here in the Northwest. But Columbia Sportswear, they created an app, like an iPhone app or an iPad app that's called, it's a mobile app. It's called What Not to Do in the Great Outdoors. And it's spelt KNOT, What Not to Do in the Great Outdoors. And it shows you how to tie different kinds of knots and tons of different things. So if you're hanging off a cliff and you need to tie some crazy knot, it helps you do that. All right, so Columbia Sportswear does not sell rope. They don't sell rope. They sell jackets, they sell gear, they sell boots, they sell sweaters, you name it, right? The thing is what they decided to do was, instead of creating an app that shows all the different types of jackets and gear that you can buy, like most companies out there are doing, they're creating this mobile app. Here, download our app because now you can buy more stuff from us. And then people download it, but then they never use it, right? There's no reason for them to use it. So what they decided to do was, what if we just focused on improving the lives of the people who do want to buy jackets instead of selling jackets directly? Okay, so how do you help people instead of just selling to people? That's what you want to start thinking about if you're a business. And then over time, they're going to come in and come to you when they need help. Okay, so I'm going to actually repeat that question. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, well, how do I do that? How do I help people instead of just sell to people? Well, here's how you do it. If you don't have the means to create a mobile app like that, you create content. That's what you do. Okay, a study by HubSpot, which analyzed over 7,000 companies, both B2B companies and B2C companies, showed that companies that had 101 to 200 pages on their website generated 2.5 times more leads than companies with 50 pages or fewer. Okay, 2.5 times more leads. That's a lot more people joining their list, coming into their stores. Okay. And the other thing, no. There's another stat, actually. Did I delete that one? Oh, darn it. Looks like I deleted the wrong. No, here it is. I've got it here. So in the same study, HubSpot showed that companies that blog, write an article, for their site, 15 times or more per month get 5 times the traffic as those who don't. 5 times. That's a lot. So if you're getting 100 visitors a day, somebody that blogs 15 times a month is getting 500 visitors per day, and that's 5 times 30, and we're talking about 15,000 visitors per month compared to 3,000. That's a lot. Now, does that mean you need to blog 15 times per month? No, you don't. But actually, he goes in deeper about this, and it is definitely important to have a lot of content. So a lot of people know that, they think that we should blog, but the more you have, the better. And then when you start using tools like Facebook ads to get that content out in front of that audience, it starts to really be a cumulative effect. So here's another example. A company called River Pools and Spas, they were going out of business in 2008, 2009. Okay, the economy was bad. Who wants to put in a pool, right? So what they decided to do, as from the advice of Jay Baer, was before we shut down our doors, let's go ahead and go out and see if we can answer every single question anybody has ever asked about pools or hot tubs or anything like that. What they did was they answered every single question, but they created a separate individual blog post about each question. Okay? Literally, less than a year later, the company started exploding, and now it's a multi-million-dollar business. Exponential growth with, and they're also the number one authority, worldwide on information about pools and spas, which is also sprouting up an entire new business. All right. Another quick example that doesn't have anything to do with an online business. Okay, this is a guy. His name is Taxi Mike. Okay, he's a taxi driver in Banff, up in Alberta, Canada. It's a ski resort town. And what he did is he created this let's see here, what's it called? It's a dining guide, basically. It's a map of downtown and all the bars and restaurants. It's in bright yellow paper, and what he does is he updates it like every 3 months. Then he goes around town and he hands it out to the restaurants and the hotels and the coffee shops. Basically what it is it's like a one-man Yelp, okay? So what happens is people come into Banff, and everybody has this dining guide that's created by Taxi Mike. That's bright yellow guide. And at the very top of it, in big black letters, is his phone number. So guess what happens at the end of the night when people are thinking about getting a taxi? They don't ask the hotel or ask the bar who to call. They call Taxi Mike, because all they have to do is reach into their pocket and grab that crinkled up yellow piece of paper, and they've got Taxi Mike. So it's a great kind of example of utility. So it's there's a couple examples. Hopefully you can really kind of think about how you can use those in your business. Now, no matter what you decide to do as far as utility is concerned, you know that you need to be creating content and providing value. Okay, and the great thing about using a channel like Facebook is that you can get your message out there faster and cheaper than ever before. Okay, however, if you really want to get the ROI on the efforts that you're putting out, you need to have some systems in place ahead of time. Okay, now this is where my website checklist comes in. So what I like to do is I tell people with my clients and stuff and my students is that you need to create content, and then now you can promote that content. But you need to have systems in place to be able to move those people into your sales funnel. So it's kind of like if you go into a Chamber of Commerce meeting every month, eventually after maybe 5 or 6 meetings, you're going to build a relationship with somebody, and that's going to turn into maybe a customer or a client. Hopefully you're not going in there thinking you're going to get a new customer the first day you show up at that meeting, right? It doesn't work that way. If you think that, then we got a whole nother issue to deal with, right? So in the online world, it's the same way. But the cool thing about the online world is you can actually have all these systems set up to automate the process of you creating content and then people coming into your we call it a sales funnel, and then eventually becoming a customer. So here I'm going to run through this checklist, fairly quickly. Like I said, you can have all these resources at my website, dominatewebmedia.com, and you can see the recent shows. So what you need to do is basically, first of all this content that we're talking about, you want to host it on your website. So whether it's a blog post or a page or an article or whatever it is. So let's say you created a video, or maybe you wrote an article or you interviewed somebody. You want to have that. Yeah, you might have it up on YouTube if it's a video, but you also want to have that hosted on your website, because that's your hub. That's where everybody's going to show up. Okay, that's important. So the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure people can share that. So you want to have in a lot of these examples I'm going to use is a website built on WordPress. A lot of websites that create a lot of content are built on WordPress, so it definitely helps with some of this stuff. You can still do it all by custom programming, but some of this stuff, it's going to definitely help if you have a WordPress website for this content side of things, all right? Or at least your blog is hosted, or your blog is created on the WordPress platform, all right? So you're going to want to have a share button. So like on my site, if you see a blog post, on the left side, they can click the Facebook button or the tweet button, and they can share that. And so what happens is when I run Facebook ads promoting a piece of content or a video like the one you're listening or watching right now, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to run Facebook ads targeting my exact ideal audience, promoting this high-value educational video where I'm not selling anything. But once people land on my website, then they have the ability to share it. They have the ability to join my list, to get more training on Facebook ads, But in order to get that more training, they have to give me their email address. Okay, that's what they're paying for that. So now I have them in my database, and I can build a better relationship over time, and eventually, present them with some offers, as far as sales. Okay, so you're going to want to let that people be able to share that. The other thing you're going to want to have is, I like this. It's kind of a new tool. It's called Click to Tweet. And so what you can do, and I'm actually going to go back to some of my old posts and update them with this. And you just go to clicktotweet.com, CLICKTOTWEET, just like it sounds, .com. And they make it so easy. I mean, you can literally, if you want, in the middle of an article or below a video, you can say like a quotable. Like you can pick out like 5 or 10 words and say something to make it's something that somebody can tweet out, because it has to be short, right, for tweets. And then the thing is at clicktotweet.com is it does the technical side for you. So all you do is you put whatever you. It's hard to explain without seeing the screen right now, but just go to clicktotweet.com and check it out. It's very easy for people to be able to share your stuff on Twitter, basically. All right. So the other thing is you need to be using some type of email autoresponder program or marketing automation. That's 100% no-brainer. I mean, it's just, and none of this stuff is going to work if you don't use email marketing. Email marketing is still the number one ROI channel there is. It's just talk to any major company, any small businesses doing this stuff right. Email marketing is where it's at, okay? So you're using these channels, these social media channels, and this content to funnel people back to your hub where they can join your list. That's what you want to do. So whether it's Aweber or iContact, which is, $1 free trial for the first month and $19 a month or something like that after that, or if you're using something more of a higher level like Infusionsoft or Marketo or Eloqua or Salesforce or something like that. One thing I do not recommend is Constant Contact. So I do not recommend Constant Contact for a business owner that wants to automate the process and build automated emails. Okay, that's just basically to be able to send out emails. So let's see here. The other thing is you're going to want to do is you're going to need to have some type of high-value, relevant offer up on your site. I like to have something up above on the very top of the homepage, okay, if you can. And you can take a look at my site and see how it is right now. You can hire somebody to do that. If you want my team to do it, we can do that for you. So just go ahead and reach out to Keith at DominateWebMedia.com if that's something you want us to do. The other thing is there's an awesome new tool. It's called HelloBar. So you go to hellobar.com, and it's a free tool. It's one of my favorite things. If you take anything out of this video or this segment right now on the radio, what you're going to want to do is go to hellobar.com. It's a free tool that you can have. You can have a little offer, something that's an upcoming event, whether it's your free offer or something that's relevant right now, and they can click on it, and it goes to that page, and it shows at the top of your site all throughout your entire site. Very cool. All right, so I love that one. The other thing you're going to want to do, you're going to want to at least have another, some type of offer on either the top right sidebar or maybe on the top left if that's how your website's set up. So, and then on that sidebar throughout your entire site, you're going to want to have some type of a banner that is promoting kind of your most important 1 to 2 products or services that you have. Okay, so it's very clear text maybe in that so people can click on it and they know where it's going. All right, so we're going to be, let's see here, I'm going to just about done with this list right now. There's a couple other ones. There's a really cool new little plugin if you have WordPress. It's called jQuery Pin It Button. So jQuery Pin It Button for images, just like that. You search for it inside the plugin, and it's awesome. Any image on your site, it makes it so they can click it and pin it to their Pinterest wall. It's all automatic. You don't have to do anything. It takes any image on your website. It's super cool. They hover over it with the mouse, and there's like a pin it button. They click on it, it pops up an app, and now they can pin it and share it on their wall. And boom, you didn't have to do anything technically. Very good way to get stuff out there. So, Lead Player is a great way to get more leads and stuff with your videos. I'm going to have all this list, like I said, in the post. Another thing you want to have set up, it's the last thing I'm going to touch on, is you need to have retargeting in place. Whether you're using Perfect Audience or AdRoll or one of those main companies, you have to be able to, when people land on your website, you have to have a system in place so when they leave and they go off to Facebook again, or if they go off to the rest of the internet, you can now have some type of banner or offer that is offering something of high value, or maybe it's your low end product or service that they can click on and come back and visit you. Because remember, people typically take 6, 7, 8 touches before they actually make a decision, right? So what happens is now you can use this content to talk about high value stuff, bring people to your website, build that rapport, and then you have systems in place like these, opt-in areas or retargeting, which is key. So they leave your website, and then next thing you know, they're out on Facebook, and then they see this banner on the right side or even in the news feed that says, hey, come check out. We get $40 off Eagle Leather, right? It's like what we're doing with Mike. It's very, very cool. And these retargeting things get the best retargeting things. They're actually called ads, but you're going to get the highest conversions from those than anything else you'll ever do, because people have already visited your site. They've already shown interest. So it's a pretty cool way. You got to put these systems in place, but this is how you actually take advantage of content marketing. You're hearing it, everybody talking about it, but this is how you're going to actually get an ROI on content marketing, an ROI on Facebook ads, and just an ROI on just everything you do in general. Put these systems in place, and you will grow your business really fast. You'll separate yourself from your competition because you'll start becoming more of an authority that people trust because you're teaching this stuff. So these are critical steps that can really set you apart and grow your business unbelievably fast. So do that. Go to my website, check out the resources when I have it up, which will be in just a few days. All right, we got to wrap up this segment, and we're going to be back with Mike Torsel with Eagle Leather with Success Smash-Up Radio.